Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders at Great Millstone. Shalom to you, Akim, who are pushing the work in truth and in sincerity. All right, bringing forth the testimony of our Lord Yahweh Shai. All right, so really quickly, before I go into work, I just wanted to kind of convey on this, I guess you could say, for lack of better words, a common mindset, among the hopeful. And our spirits we are in a time where we should be yearning more and more for the Lord, making His way, coming from His place, because the scriptures say, "What? Behold, I come quickly." I believe it says, "Hold that fast which thou hast," and that no man take your crowns. Some to the effect of that. I think it's Revelations the 3rd chapter, if I'm not mistaken. But yesterday I was just thinking, man, there was a lot on my mind. And at what point is there not a lot on our minds? We go through it every day, all right, the constant barrage of thoughts, feelings, all right, and emotions towards, our current state. And I was just thinking, man, Esau's, mobilizing, he's making things tighter, he's generating crises so he can bring in this police state, which those troops, man, they ain't going nowhere. All right. Martial law and things of that nature, man, that's going to be a common thing. People being detained, other than the Latinos, those tribes. All right. So it's more to come. And I'm just thinking, all of this man's and all of the things that he's gotten away with, and the exploits, the breaking up of families, the depravity that he's, generated among the so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, so that he deliberately, pretty much cut us off so that we won't be able to thrive. Of course, it's for a reason, because this ain't our inheritance. It's just a lot of hurtful shit I was just thinking about, and there's hurtful things that we have that affect us on a daily basis, even without us knowing it, you know. But I was just thinking about Yahweh Shai, man, and that's the only thing that kind of quelled or brought, me to peace. Because as this devil, as he comes down with great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath a short time, Yahweh Shai is becoming closer. He's getting closer and closer and closer. And I honestly, I truly, and I'm saying this honestly, I feel him. I feel his presence drawing closer and closer and closer. And I got full confidence, And that's just one of the things that I prayed about. Just having confidence in him and trusting in him. Because, I mean, what else is there, but besides annihilation? These devils want to eliminate us. Esau, the so-called white man, they want to get rid of us. All right, so that our names won't be in existence no more, as Psalms 83 goes into. So he wants to get rid of us, and it ain't a joke. So, with all that thinking, and I can't pretty much express everything I was, feeling in the spirit, but, the things that I was, pretty much focusing on, his new world order and him coming down with great wrath, and how he's just putting everything into motion now. And, the past exploits and things he's done, it just, I was disgusted. And it's just like, damn, it's just so it's so unfair. It's just like, why does he get to get away with so much? All right. And then on top of that, he has all, this power and all of this stuff, but we really know he don't, and that's just the faith that you have to have. You have to really trust in Yahweh Shai to know that. Okay. Because you can be stuck in that, and you'll think and believe that this dude has a one up, and he don't. Hey, we can't forget that the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh. You know, and he set Pharaoh up so he can destroy him. So let's go to these precepts. I know this is gonna be short. Because I want to start on time for work and stuff. Because even with that, man, these devils, man, if you're a minute late, they be tripping, bro. They'll write you up and all this other type of shit, man. So Jake be fed up, man, and the only thing we could look for or look to is Yahushua, man, for peace. Because these devils, man, they don't let up, you know. So what I'm gonna do is read Luke 21 and 28, and then I'm gonna jump up. All right, it says, and when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. All right, and those things that's coming to pass, of course, is the prophecies. All right, and through the prophecies is how we measure the times, to see how close we are, and we have to go through each process, because the scriptures talk about the said measures. One measure, one prophecy has to fulfill itself before another comes, and that's how the Lord has this thing set up. So yeah, we're gonna witness tyranny at the highest levels, and it's gonna seem very unfair, but it's the Lord allowing this devil to get his rocks off, only to bring him into complete and utter destruction. Because of course, when the destruction comes, he ain't gonna be able to do it anymore. He ain't gonna be able to oppress anymore. He ain't gonna be able to hold no one down and cut no one off anymore. Okay, so let me do this. I'll come back to that. All right, Job 35 and 6. And it reads, it says, if thou sinnest, let me see. Oops, it ain't. 6 is 9. Let's see here. Job 35 and 9. It says, by reason of the multitude of oppressions, they make the oppressed to cry, that cry out by reason of the arm of the mighty. All right. And that's what the situation is now. We cry out, okay, by reason of the strength of the mighty, because there's no holds barred. Esau is, even against the weak, he's using his full might. All right, and mainly through his laws, all right, which he set up, But Isaiah 10, the unrighteous is unrighteous laws. All right, okay, because he set his laws up so he can bring forth deceit and frame mischief. All right, by law. So he's framing all type of evil works. He's getting away with all type of evil works. All right, and setting himself above everybody else through his laws. Okay. So verse 7. Excuse me. No. 10. It says, but none saith, where's God my maker? All right, who giveth songs in the night. All right, and that's literally what the Lord is doing for us. Okay, who teacheth us more than the beasts of the earth, and maketh us wiser than the fowls of the heaven. There they cry, but none giveth answer, because of the pride of evil men. Surely God will not hear vanity, neither will the Almighty regard it. Although thou sayest well, yeah, that's going into, I shall not see him, yet judgment is before him. Therefore trust thou in him. Yeah, perfect right here. Although thou sayest thou shalt not see him, yet judgment is before him, right? Therefore trust not thou in him. All right, the fact that this devil is moving the way he's moving, as fast as he's moving, All right. Proves that the Lord is on his way. Okay. It proves that the Lord is about to make his move. All right. Okay. All right. Which, it says a lot. Okay. So hold on. Let me go ahead and clock in. I might come back out. So Salaki. All right. So I'm going to read Job 35 and let me see. 14 in the GMT. It says, Job, you say you can't see the Most High, but wait patiently. Your case is before him. All right. Much like ours, our case is before the Lord. Right? Because, of course, we're those witnesses. All right. And verse 15, it says, you think that the Most High does not punish, that he pays little attention to sin. And we know what the scriptures say, that the Lord is angry with the wicked. All right. Every day. Okay. Scriptures say that he's angry with the wicked every day. All right. So, of course, now the Lord is paying attention to what Esau is doing. That's why he's coming with the wrath that he's coming with. All right. And that wrath is unavoidable. That wrath is going to be, Salakia. That wrath is going to be, that's going to be a great wrath. All right. All right. Of the likes of the world, as the world has not seen before. Okay. So it says, verse 16, it is useless for you to go on talking, which is not, because they was going off anyway. And these were Job's friends, right? It is clear you don't know what you are talking or you are saying. And look, it's all right for us to plead, it's all right for us to cry out, even when even when we know ultimately what's going on, it's sort of like a therapy, all right, in a way. So let's see here. What else did I have? Only had a few too, but I didn't want to make this too short, so I went ahead and clocked in. I came back to the vehicle so I can finish up. Psalms 12:5. Let me see. Salakia. And of course, this thing don't let up. But Psalms 12 and let's see here. Yep, 3. I'll start at 3. All right, the Lord shall cut off all flattering lips and the tongue that speaketh proud things. And that's, of course, right now, that's Esau. Okay. He the one that's speaking all smoothly. All right, especially when it comes to his agenda. Okay. But he's lying right underneath his tongue. His lies right underneath his tongue. It says, in the tongue that speaketh proud things, who have said, with our tongue it says, with our tongue will we prevail. Our lips are our own. Who is the Lord? Who is Lord over us? And the Lord is about to show them who's Lord over them. Because your lips are not your own. All right. The scriptures say that every idle word, that man shall answer for every idle word. Okay. This is for the oppression of the poor, for the sighing of the needy. Now will I arise, said the Lord Yahweh. I will set him in safety from him that puffeth at him. All right. And you got to have the confidence that the Lord is going to save you from the times that's coming. All right. Where this man is, he's going to come in as a flood. But the Lord, as the scriptures say in Isaiah 59:19, I'm going to have to cut the lesson, that he shall come in as a flood. All right. But the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. That's what I want to say. But yeah. All right. And that standard that he's going to lift up, he's going to give us spiritual powers to evade, to escape, to even fly away from this man. All right. Because he's relentless. Esau is relentless and he wants blood. Okay. Even though they have everything in the world, what else could they possibly want? Well, they want to see you moan They want to see you, cry and be hurt because it makes them feel good about themselves, man. It gives them pleasure, is that what I want to say. Okay. But check this out. Back in Luke 21 and 26. All right. Or 25. It says, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And this is what, look, I have visions of this, and it's a certain feeling I get or have when I think about Yahweh's return. All right, because everything is going to stop at His presence. All right, and hell, man, I'm so sick of what we have to deal with that I'm fully confident in Him showing up in His presence, because we need it. And it's going to be like, it's going to be, in that time, it's going to be due time. It's going to be overdue, and yeah, man, and we have to be finishing through with this place, man. All right. Wholeheartedly, so that's why we go through a lot of shit and a lot of pain, because there's certain pain that we have to essentially feel to be healed or to be purified as well. So Lord willing, if it's edifying, I kind of wanted to just touch on that, and through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai, man. Lord willing, have something tonight or tomorrow, man. Through the Spirit, man. I'm hoping that the Lord give me something. So shalom.